Couch Guy Sports Podcast, episode number 135. Quaglia, Jared Scali, and producer Patty P. We got some decent things to talk about this week. Some solid topics with not all Patriots. A lot of this fall has just been strictly Patriots because the Celtics, you can only have so many freaking Celtics conversations. The Celtics are playing better without Kyrie Irving, which we're going to talk about freaking Kyrie anyway. But the Celtics are playing better without Kyrie. Yeah, Kyrie's being a little bitch boy. Gordon Hayward, he's back. You can only have so many of those conversations. But the Celtics will be seeing Kyrie Irving. Well, they should have been seeing Kyrie Irving this week. And now they won't. That's going to be a main topic tonight. We're going to talk about the damn WooSox, which a lot of people, I guess, aren't going to be searching for the WooSox online. But we're still going to talk about the WooSox because that logo is absurd.
It's like Walmart.
It's we'll talk about it.
Walmart. Drop those prices, baby.
Woo. And then the Ravens, man. Yikes. The Ravens look like a wagon right now.
Super Bowl favorites right there.
Not according to the odds. Not according to the odds. Maybe in the fans' mind, but not according to the odds. But first, actually, you know what? Before we get to the weekly dump. So we talked about this last week. Connor and I went to Foxwoods on Saturday with a bunch of our friends.
Yeah, saw the Snapchats.
I am so old.
You can't hang anymore, big boy?
Well, so I lost all my money early. I lost all my money gambling in like 45 minutes.
Well, that sounds about right.
I didn't stand a chance. And I'm pissed. All of my friends friggin' won on the same blackjack table together. And none of them friggin' told me that they were all on the same blackjack table.
Oh, well, that's suspicious.
They all won so much money. I think this guy's name was Brian. They won so much money with this dude. He was about our age, and they all just could not lose. I think they all got like at least plus $200. I lost everything. Between roulette and between the slot machine that I always win on, it was unreal. So me and Connor and our friend Zach, I think Connor hadn't lost all of his money yet. Connor and I did it up actually winning. We went into Shrine, which I haven't been into since I was 21. And Shrine, it's like a club type place. And we go in, and oh my God, was this place loud. It was the loudest place I've ever been to in my life. So much so. So we're standing there. We're on the dance floor. It's an awesome time. Confetti's falling down. I got people brushing the confetti off me. It was an awesome time. But holy shit, was that place friggin' loud? So loud, my hearing when I walked out of there, everything was muffled. I couldn't hear anything. It was so loud.
What did you say? What did you say?
You couldn't hear. No matter I've got a loud voice. I was screaming at the top of my lungs, and nobody could hear me talk. It was so loud in there. My chest was vibrating.
You're old.
Listen, my chest was vibrating. My neck was vibrating. There might be some lawsuits coming out of that place because that thing was absurdly loud. So
you know what you sound like right now? You sound like those Geico commercials. You're becoming your father.
Yes. Well, rightly so, because that place was it was a great time. But
can I get a round of jalapeno poppers for the boys?
You can turn down the music a bit. So I leave. My ears are just, when you go to the RMV, the hearing test where they play the beeps?
Beep.
Yeah, but it was one of those beeps for like 48 hours, and everything was muffled. If you weren't standing right in front of me talking to me, I wasn't going to hear you. I couldn't talk to people on the other side of doors. It was horrific.
Nicholas Quaglia is old.
Yeah, what happened? I turned 45 years old. I turned 45 years old.
You didn't even get to 30. You just skipped it. You just went to 50.
It was unreal. I don't remember any place being that loud before. This guy, what was his name? DJ Costa, the most boring DJ name of all time. This guy blew my eardrums out.
DJ Costa, what? Blowing Nick Quack's eardrums.
There's still like this slight faint beep. So, actually, the next morning I went to Dunkin' Donuts right down the street from Foxwoods on my way home. Because it's a ritual. Always get Dunkin' Donuts egg and cheese sandwiches after a night of drinking. And I go there, and I pull up to the speaker, and I can hear them. It's like the Charlie Brown thing. Rah, 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 rah. And I hear somebody talking out of the intercom. I have no idea what they said. None. So after I heard them, after they were done speaking, I just went, sure. Don't know what they said. Then I ordered my thing and I went up. Apparently they asked me if I wanted eggnog instead of cream in my coffee.
Oh, how was that?
High key, bomb.
Bomb?
So good.
Oh,
I mean,
best miracles happen by mistake.
I took my first sip and I was like, what the fuck? And I looked on the side. It said caramel swirl because that's what I do.
That's my go-to.
Regular sugar because it's the best. Regular sugar and eggnog. I was like, what the fuck? It was bomb. It was delicious. But it was unbelievable. Like I pulled up that intercom. I could not make out a word they were saying.
Eggnog.
I didn't even hear eggnog. I didn't hear anything. Once I stopped hearing little noises coming out of it, I just threw out my order. I said yes.
Can I get the medium iced caramel, regular sugar, hold the eggnog, and
they could have said
please.
anything. They could have been like, hey, you want to donate $100 of your money to charity? I was saying yes no matter what.
Do you want a little the white good stuff in your coffee this morning? Need a little extra pick me up?
Connor actually got pissed. So Connor, for people who don't know, if you do listen every week, Connor is the fill-in host on the show.
If they listen to the show, they know who Connor is.
Yeah, Connor was sitting at the table. He wasn't answering me at the blackjack table. So I flicked him in the ear. I guess and his ears were already fucked up too because he was in there. I guess I don't know if his ears were sore, but it sounds like I blew out his eardrum with that flick. Dude, it was bad. It was bad. I'm only 25. It feels like I'm way past my prime.
You are still on your parents' insurance and you're having issues. You need to
I'm
reevaluate your life decisions.
I got a few months left for free insurance.
That's because you're old.
All right, weekly dump. Kemba Walker sustained a brutal eggnog. Kemba Walker sustained a brutal
eggnog.
He could have used it. Brutal looking head and neck injury last Friday night after running into the brick wall. That is Semi Ojeleye. It looked a lot worse at the time after he was carried off on a stretcher, but Kemba is now probable to play Wednesday against the Nets, and by the time this comes out, he probably already did play. Sammy Darnold reportedly went out after the Jets' huge win over the Raiders, where he was on fire on Sunday and got obliterated drunk, hooked up with some ladies, and I guess you can't catch mono twice. So baby, Sam Darnold's living life.
One thing that pissed me off about that, people were freaking out about it. Like, oh my God, Sammy D went out and drank. Okay, he's 22. He plays for the Jets. And
media coverage sucks now. Like all social media and you can't do anything. Nothing is private anymore. Like there are stories about, I think it was the Super Bowl, maybe it was the Pro Bowl week, whatever it was. I think it was the Super Bowl, where Drew Brees and Scott Zolak went out together. I think like the night before or 2 nights before the Super Bowl. Yep. And like if that was now, did I say Drew Brees or Drew Bledsoe?
Drew Bledsoe.
If that happened now, people would be recording them. It'd be all over social media. It'd blow up into this huge story. It sucks now. I hate how people record everything that happens. It's like you got to watch every step you do.
It's stupid.
The Red Sox waived, much to the dismay of former host of this show, Lauren Campbell. The Red Sox waived reliever Brian Johnson outright. Johnson at one point was a highly regarded pitcher coming through the farm system, but he never really turned into what the team thought they had at one point. He was supposed to be, you remember, I don't exactly know what year, maybe 2012, 2013.
It was like him and Henry Owens.
It was Brian Johnson and Henry Owens coming up through the farm system. They were supposed to be like the next badass 1 and 2 of this team.
Yeah.
And Henry Owens, God knows what happened to that guy. Henry Owens just turned into dust once he got up to the majors. And Brian Johnson was fine. He was serviceable, but they expected him to be like a very solid, maybe great number 2 pitcher. And he had to sit out a year 2 with anxiety, which was crazy. So
I'm honestly kind of surprised that he got released. Like, I feel like they were relying on him and they wanted to. I don't think they really. I'm surprised they actually let him go.
I'm a little too because he was so versatile.
Yeah.
Because he could spot start if you needed him to, and he wasn't an awful relief pitcher. There were times where he was the best relief pitcher that you had in that bullpen, but there were also times where he was absolute ass. I mean, his final ERA was over 4 in 3 years of relief pitching in one game that he had, or 3 years of pitching for the Red Sox in 1 year one debut game that he had in 2015. The Patriots-Cowboys sloppy, boring game was the highest rated regular season game in over a decade. Our man Kyrie Irving won't be making his big return to Boston, where he was going to be greeted with cheers and regarded as a king, as he got his phantom shoulder injury that
apparently
won't even allow him to travel to Boston.
Or Cleveland.
Or Cleveland. He's such a puss, man.
He's just happened to miss the Knicks, Cleveland's, and Boston game all on the road, all at once.
It's unreal. I meant to write this down. Actually, yeah, I'll say this now. We can talk more about this once we get to the Kyrie part of the show. I forgot. I wish I wrote it down, but Mike Felger today on 98.5 The Sports Hub read out the record between the Celtics 2 years and the Nets when Kyrie Irving's hurt compared to when he plays. When Kyrie's out and Kyrie was hurt, the Celtics the past 2 years and the Nets this year, they were combined, I think he said 29-8 when Kyrie was out. This year, the Nets, while Kyrie's been hurt, 5-1. I mean, we had this conversation a million times during Kyrie's time with Boston. It was, are the Celtics better with Kyrie? And people didn't want to admit it because they knew that if the team was in fact better with Kyrie, they weren't winning a championship, so people did not want to admit it. We're going to talk about that later. Tom Brady says it's not hard for him to be in the present. I think the reality is there is no more prediction, he said. He has a plan to play longer gratification if he won somewhere else, asked Erin Andrews. Said, yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool to do that. Well, gratification, that's what I heard it as. That's what I heard the question as. The question was really based around his age. Do you think there'd be gratification if you continue to prove the doubters wrong and win deeper and deeper into your age? I kind of took that because they were talking right before that about going to play somewhere else. And he talked about being in the present. It's easy for him to be in the present, and obviously everybody else wants to make predictions. But I kind of took that as there would be gratification if the Patriots thought I was a little too old and they didn't want me anymore, and then he went on to go win somewhere else.
Well, of course that's what it meant. And why wouldn't he? I mean, if you were a guy who is 42, would be 43, and decided to get pushed aside from your team, claiming you're healthy and you're ready to go, and you're proving that, wouldn't you take gratification of going somewhere else and winning? Like, it is what it is. Like,
yes,
Tom Brady,
absolutely.
Tom Brady. If this is the last year the Patriots want Tom Brady, he plays somewhere else because he's not done yet.
All right, that is the weekly dump. And guys, next week,
eggnog,
we will be announcing a new sponsor of the show that we are hoping is going to be around for quite a while. And I'm very excited for the sponsor. I've wanted these guys to sponsor for a while.
And we're going to be
and we're both, what I heard on the intercom.
Yes. Can I get a medium iced caramel swirl? Hold the eggnog, extra cinnamon.
Large, baby. If I'm drinking the night before, I'm going large. There's no way I'm getting a medium.
Can I get the super-sized bucket of the caramel swirl? Not the coffee, just the caramel swirl. I'll take that pump all day. There we go. That's good. Thanks.
All right, that was the weekly dump.
Give me a chocolate fella.
Move on to the Ravens. So this topic really jumped up last night after the Ravens absolutely pantsed the Rams to destroy the offensive mastermind of Sean McVay, destroyed brainless Jared Goff 45-6. The biggest story of the night came from probably Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was unreal last night. Unreal.
And you go
passing wise,
I saw a stat earlier that literally the 2 times this year that the Ravens have punted, or might have just been in the last like 3 or 4 weeks, the 2 times they've punted was when RG3 was in the game. Like, it's
I didn't see that, but I wouldn't doubt it with the way this guy's playing right now.
I think it might have been the last like 3 or 4 games. Was that from that stat?
So I actually don't have these odds in front of me right now. Maybe I can actually somehow find these. But the MVP race for most of the season up until now, it was Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was going to win the MVP. There was no doubt about it. We're at the point now where there's no question it's going to be Lamar Jackson unless he absolutely falls off. And that's kind of an issue with the way that we as fans and as the NFL just looks at the MVP race in general, because it usually is who has the better second half. You can have a great first half, but if somebody absolutely steps up in a monster way in the second half and they get recognized as a potential MVP candidate, they'll probably win because that's fresh in our mind. But Lamar Jackson, regardless, man, does he earn this? Has he earned this potential award?
Do you want the odds, my darling?
Yeah, I'm looking for him. Yeah, sure.
Lamar Jackson minus 300. Russell Wilson plus 300.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes is next on the list at plus 1,200.
It's going to be Lamar or Russell. Don't even go any further. Jimmy Garoppolo. What?
Plus 2,800. Jimmy G.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's 7th favorite. How?
Put an asterisk. Actually, 49ers defense.
Say don't credit him. I mean, he's been fine. He's been a good game manager this year, but don't tell me that he's the main reason why that team's winning games. It's the 49ers defense. Can you put the entire defense as MVP? And Michael Thomas should be above Jimmy Garoppolo. Michael Thomas is having an unreal year. And above Dak Prescott too. Dak Prescott, suck my ass, pal. No way.
You know what's really annoying is that I think when the draft happened, Lamar Jackson, I think you and I sat here and said they should draft this dude. Like
we did.
They need to draft this guy. Then and now, like it was him. Who did they take instead? Was this a Sony Michel draft?
Michel. This was Sony Michel, Isaiah Wynn, which I'm still fine with the Isaiah Wynn move. I mean,
but you could have taken Isaiah Wynn and Lamar Jackson, and now you'd have Lamar Jackson.
Yes, you could have drafted Lamar Jackson in place of Sony Michel. Absolutely. And you know what? Honestly, they probably should have.
100% should have.
They probably should have, because right now you've got Jarrett Stidham, who he's got in his first pass attempt in the NFL, he threw an interception. Which was it wasn't even close.
They'll draft another quarterback in April.
You think? It seems like they like Jarrett Stidham.
Well, I know, but they need someone to back up Jarrett Stidham.
They will, yeah, when Brady leaves this offseason.
100%.
Lamar Jackson, 15 for 20 last night, 169 yards, 5 touchdowns. Look, the thing is with Lamar Jackson, and he's a running quarterback, and I've always been
anymore, though. Like the majority of his
not okay. But so here's the thing: he's not in to start the season during the summer. He said that he wants to try to be more of a pocket passer, which is fine.
And he has.
He has been, but has he? Because he's only throwing 169 yards and 5 touchdowns. That tells you how much he's running with it. That tells you how much he's getting out of the pocket.
Yeah, but just because he can get out of the pocket doesn't mean he's not comfortable in the pocket, and that's the big difference. People are trying to say that he's only good because he gets out of the pocket. He stood in there last night and did that heck of a sidearm toss out of the pocket.
Yeah, he's been great in the pocket.
Granted, I still don't think they win the Super Bowl, because I think whoever comes out of the NFC is going to do that. But at the same time, this team has to be the favorite to go out of the AFC now, the way they're playing. If they can sustain it. So
that's the question. Are the Ravens the favorites over the Patriots? As of right now, the favorites to come out of the AFC, betting-wise, is the Patriots at plus 125. The Ravens very close, though, plus 175. So it's tight. And just from a fan perspective, from a non-gambling perspective, if you had to ask me, and if you had to ask most fans, with the way the teams are playing right now, with the way that they played against each other, it has to be the Ravens, no question. The Ravens have to be the favorite over the Patriots. But we had the same conversation last year, Jared, with the Chiefs. And I'm not going to sit here with my thumb up my ass and just act like I forgot everything. We had this conversation last year. The entire season was, man, the Patriots have to get that 1 seed, Jared. They can't go to Arrowhead. And they did. And it was a completely revitalized offense. And we had these conversations after the Patriots lost to the Lions. We had these conversations after they lost to the Titans, to the Bills. I mean, no, not the Bills.
No, the Dolphins. The miracle game.
The Dolphins. The Jacksonville Jaguars. They lost to some crap bag teams.
They went 11-5 last year, Nick, if you don't remember.
They weren't good. They
weren't a good team.
They sucked, and they figured it out. And so, like, this past week, the Patriots had a tough time passing against the Dallas Cowboys, who they realistically should have been able to pass more on. But you look at this receiving core, and it's not healthy. Julian Edelman was out there, but he's got a shoulder issue right now.
He can't lift his shoulder above his head, Nick.
No, he can't.
There was a ball
He's
yesterday
hurt.
that like
Really
literally
hurt.
it was in Edelman's typical breadbasket. Like sometimes Edelman likes to reach above his head and he catches the ball pretty easily up there. There was one ball that he ran across the middle of the field and easily should have been caught, but he couldn't get his arm up, so the ball bounced off him and he didn't catch it. Like little things like that. I mean, N'Keal Harry looked good, Myers looked good. I think they'll be fine there because you got two guys coming back, but at the same time,
Jacoby Myers has looked really good this season.
If Brady will trust him. But
I think he has. I think he's earned the trust finally.
Yeah,
that Dallas Jacoby Myers.
If Dorsett and Sanu come back, which they're supposedly coming back this weekend against Houston, does he still throw to the rookies? That's the only question. He still needs to trust the rookies, even though he has veterans on the field.
I think he's at the point where he's going to trust whoever's open, because I think the main problem is he just didn't trust rookies before, just with the way that they'd run routes. He didn't trust them catching the ball. I think Jacoby Myers especially has earned his trust. N'Keal Harry, and look, this is my point. This is my main point with the rookies. They're so thin at receiver that, Brady, guess what? I don't care, and you cannot care if he's a rookie, if you don't trust him yet. The fact of the matter is you're going to have to trust him, because you have 5-man receivers: Mohamed Sanu, Julian Edelman, Philip Dorsett, and 2 rookies in Myers and N'Keal Harry. If you're going to be successful this year, you have to integrate them into your game. But the Ravens, man, look so good.
AB week 17. Let's do it.
AB?
Antonio Brown week 17 in the playoff
I think
push.
the AB conversation's out the window. There's no way AB comes back.
I think there's a chance, man. I think they're the only. I think
not anymore.
The Patriots are the only team that would potentially have him this year.
You think?
Yep.
I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if he gets signed by a different team. He's got, what, 4 days?
No, anyone can sign him. The NFL stuff has to be done.
Can they sign him at any time?
Yeah.
Oh, what's Gronk's? Oh, Gronk just has to.
Gronk has his deadline.
Step on the field for the first time on November 30th. But the thing with the Ravens is, in the knock on them at the start of the season was, this defense isn't that great. This defense is overrated. That was especially me. I was going after the defense. I thought the defense kind of stunk. The defense now is 5th in points allowed this season. But what you can do
with a good offense,
with the best offense in the NFL, they're ranked in the top 2. Number 1 in points scored, number 1 in rushing, number 2 in rushing passing. No, rushing. Whatever. I forget what the 4th category is. But passing is their issue. But the thing is with Lamar Jackson, and they're ranked pretty low, but that's because of yardage per game. That's all that stat is. Lamar Jackson has proved now that he can be a legitimate passer, which is scary for the NFL.
Yeah, and this is the thing. The Ravens took the chance and said, you know what? We really like what you can do. We'll build our offense around you. We're going to change our entire scheme, and we're going to make this work for you. And I think it would have been just as scary, I think, if the Patriots got a hold of him. But at the same time, the rest of the league hasn't caught up yet. My only hope right now is that the 49ers defense, who is also one of the top 2 defenses in the league with the Patriots, can show something this weekend when they play them. Mind you, at 1 o'clock, which is criminal.
Yeah, that is criminal. That's bad.
Criminal.
But give them the Sunday night slot. I don't even want the Patriots in that slot.
No, screw that. They don't deserve it. Patriots Texans? Come on. No.
That's going to be a pretty decent game, though.
Let's flip it. I don't care. I want the Ravens in prime time right now.
It's going to be a great game only because DeAndre Hopkins versus Stephon Gilmore is going to be a rock fight. That's going to be a nasty fight.
DeAndre Hopkins, 2 catches, 25 yards, bank on it. No touchdowns.
Stephon Gilmore's defensive player of the year.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
The Ravens will show a lot this weekend. If the 49ers can give you some sense of how to stop them, Patriots use that, I'm not worried. But there needs to be somebody who can show some idea of how to slow them down. Now, look, if the Patriots play the Ravens again, I'm not worried and sitting here thinking they're going to get blown out. Like, they don't do that twice in a row. They'll figure it out. It will most likely be at home. They'll be fine. It'll be a close game. But at the same time, we need someone to show some glimpse of stopping them. And the 49ers have my next best chance.
So the thing is, I think the Patriots defense will play better against Lamar Jackson next time they play, because the Patriots have the best defense in the league, and they showed that again this week. Sunday's game against the Cowboys, that was the Patriots defense. I'm going to give them full credit, but Jason Garrett's a fucking idiot. Oh my God, is that guy stupid? Going for a field goal when you're that close to the end zone? unreal. And
when it was
on
like the
top of
only
that,
time you were there the entire night. It was like the only time you were down in the red zone. Like, why
yes,
are
you
you not
have to go
going
for
the
it.
touchdown?
And on top of that, you're playing in the rain, you're playing in the muck. What's the Patriots defense one kryptonite right now, one issue? The run.
Okay, you have one of the best running backs in the league.
They struggle against the run. You're playing in the rain. Give the ball to Zeke. He was averaging 4.1 yards per carry. You absolutely cannot. You cannot waste that opportunity. And not to mention, you had Tony Pollard, who's your backup running back, who's halfway decent, who you could also run with. He only had 4 touches that game.
He needs to get fired. Jason Garrett.
He'll get fired.
He should have been fired like 5 years ago. But Jason Garrett needs to go. Jerry Jones finally criticized him, which is great to hear.
Oh my God, I know. Thank God.
But again, they're not going to get a real coach because no one wants to work for Jerry Jones. So the Cowboys will never win, honestly, until Jerry Jones sells the team, which will never happen. So Cowboys fans, good luck with that.
So I was actually looking when I was looking for those odds. NFL head coaches, Dallas Cowboys head coach in week 1. You know who the favorite is to become the head coach?
Rex Ryan.
Urban Meyer.
Oh God.
Urban Meyer. It'd be a dream. That'd be a match made in heaven.
Oh,
2
God.
psychopaths.
That would blow up in everyone's faces if you're Dak Prescott.
Payton.
You don't want that.
Sean Payton. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sean Payton's 5th on this list.
Weird.
Why? the Saints.
He won't coach anywhere but the Saints. That's weird.
The Saints are top favorites to go to the Super Bowl this year. What? Josh McDaniels number 2 actually.
Oh
Plus
God.
400.
Josh McDaniels won't go to Dallas.
Jim Harbaugh's actually 6.
That would work. Yeah, that would work. Psychopath in khakis working with Jerry Jones.
You know, honestly, that would be mine because I don't think Jim Harbaugh lasts in Michigan past this season. They've been underwhelming since he's been there.
He's going bye-bye.
And I'm a huge Jim Harbaugh guy. But wrapping up this Ravens conversation quick, they're good, man. They are real good. And not only are they good, they're good in every facet of the game. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know about their special teams really, but they've got the best kicker in the NFL, Justin Tucker. They've got about the only kicker who's automatic at this point, in Justin Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Lamar Jackson, who's turning into a stud quarterback, one of the best in the league, reigning MVP or current favorite for the MVP. They've got a great running game with Lamar Jackson and Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram's got a second breath. This guy has been incredible this year.
Well, he was good last year.
Yeah, he's good. He's been low key good every single season.
Yeah, Saints didn't want him.
And I love this dude's personality. Mark Ingram is hysterical.
Yeah.
There was 2 weeks ago after the Ravens won again, he went into his press conference and was talking up Lamar Jackson. I tweeted out, I need Mark Ingram to come in on my next job interview and introduce me before I walk in. Listen to the way that he talks up his boy Lamar Jackson.
Front runner. If anybody else got to say something different about that, then come see me. I'm right here in Beemore outside the bank. If you got an issue with that, come see me. I'm about that. Big trust. Woo woo. Lamar Jackson in the flesh. Yes, sir. Big trust. I'm with you.
Mark Ingram's the best. He's become one of my favorite players in the league.
He's great. He's just the hype train is real on Lamar Jackson, and he's the one driving it. It's nuts. It's great. Mark Ingram is a psychopath in the best way possible.
But they've got like a solid receiving core, and they've got 2 very strong receiving tight ends. One being Mark Andrews, who's showing to be one of the best tight ends in this league. Mark Andrews has been incredible this year. I'm not going to speak on the offensive line, and the defense has stepped up in a huge way too. You can pass on this defense. So if the Patriots can figure out a way to get this passing game going, that's gonna be, according to the stats, that's how they're gonna have to beat this team, is through the air. So if the Patriots can figure that out, then they'll have a chance. It'll be a great game. If this is the AFC Championship game, it's not gonna be a blowout either way. We're probably gonna get the exact same game that we had last year between the Chiefs and the Patriots.
Oh, 100%.
And if you're counting at the Patriots at this point, are you new to the NFL? Are you?
And yeah. I'm not even saying the Patriots don't have a chance. I'm just saying I think the Ravens should be the favorite right now.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. They should be. If you've been watching the way that they've played, you cannot sit here and say that the Patriots or that the Ravens aren't the favorite because they've been playing out of their mind, and Lamar Jackson looks unstoppable right now. 5 touchdowns against the Rams. The Rams defense isn't bad. They've been underwhelming this year. They've underachieved this year. But the Rams defense isn't bad. Putting up 5 touchdowns and torching them with somebody like Jalen Ramsey, Jalen Ramsey is the worst. The worst.
Dude, your team lost by like however many points. You got slaughtered on Monday Night Football, and you're trying to talk trash to Marcus Peters and squad on the other side of the field. Like, what are you doing?
The Ravens are going to be tough to beat. All right, up next, we can do this one quickly. I just had to get this one out there. So, for people who aren't in the Boston area, the Paw Sox, the Pawtucket Red Sox, the Red Sox AAA minor league system team is moving to Worcester, and they're playing their last season in Pawtucket this next upcoming season. They'll be in Worcester in 2021. Last night, the Red Sox put on like this big event. It was on Nesson, and they were unveiling the team's logo and the team's nickname. So the thing is with the team nickname, Jared, they unveiled this like it was like this was I just was already assumed that this was the nickname. Like this wasn't a nickname that nobody expected. Like, this was the nickname everybody thought was coming.
It was been floated around for so long. I'm like, look, the team accepted like a ton of submissions, but like I'm pretty sure we knew about this name a while ago.
Yeah, they weren't going to go with anything else. It was going to be the WooSox.
And they decided to have an hour-long special on Nesson about it.
And the special was, I tried to watch it. I couldn't watch it.
No.
It was just show me the logo, show me the nickname. That's all I needed.
Tom Karen was like, yeah, the people of Pawtucket are sad, but the people of Worcester are excited as baseball's back in this great
Nobody
town.
wants to go to Worcester.
I'm not excited. I want to go back to Pawtucket if I'm going to go to Red Sox.
Worcester sucks. Nobody wants to go to Worcester.
No, it's called Worcester gave them money. Money.
And Larry Lucchino, I mean, he's got his nose in this whole thing. It's his investor group that owns them. So the big story, though, that came out of the WooSox unveiling was the logo. The logo, it's a smiley face, and you guys have to look this up. It's a smiley face with Red Sox, a baseball bat, and a cap.
It's not just a smiley face. It's a yellow smiley face.
It's the Walmart logo.
The Walmart rollback smiley face from the 90s, 2000s. It's absolutely insane. How could you not have come up with a better logo for the WooSox?
Did you not? You're a professional organization.
Like, I could have gone to clip art. I could have gone to Windows 97, opened up good old clip art, and put that together.
Yes, it's so. I can't imagine being a professional baseball player and having that on your hat.
Well, they're not. Aren't they keeping the B?
Are they? I thought they were. I thought that was going to be on their hat. I saw hats last night with the logo on it.
Oh God.
It looks so bad.
Team Walmart.
Right.
Massachusetts.
It looks like they're sponsored by Walmart. If Walmart's smart, they're going to get their asses on the monster, because that's the whole thing. The AAA or the Paw Sox, Larry Lucchino wanted to get a new stadium that kind of resembled Fenway Park. So players, they use the excuse that so players could get used to the Green Monster in left field. And whatever, fine, that's fine. Pawtucket didn't want to do it. Worcester was willing to do it, so they're going to build a stadium there. But this, plaster the Walmart, get a sponsorship on the Monster.
You know what I read?
Get a damn sponsorship on the Monster.
I saw a tweet from good friend Jared Carabas, and he literally said, you know what they should have done? They should have just put Rusney Castillo's face as the logo of the new WooSox.
Yeah, he's the MVP of the fucking league.
Rusney Castillo, greatest AAA player of all time. Build that man to stat.
Do you know the significance of the smiley face?
No. Should I? It's Walmart.
Yes, actually. So there is a pretty good significance of the smiley face with Worcester. So the smiley face was actually invented in Worcester.
Like the smiley face?
The prototypical smiley face, the yellow smiley face, was invented in Worcester by Harvey Ross Ball. That's why the smiley face is it's big in Worcester. It's significant to Worcester. But they have to understand that when you look at that, nobody else is going to understand. Like, polar bears were not a symbol of Pawtucket. Polar bears were not a symbol of Pawtucket, Rhode Island. But the polar bear was awesome. Bring the polar bear to Worcester. You don't need to make it a smiley face just because the guy who invented the smiley face did it in Worcester.
Ugh.
It's so gross. It's so gross.
That makes me cringe even more. I did not know that. What? What? Can we just not go to Worcester? Can we just stay in Pawtucket? Is that a thing? Can we just boycott this and just?
It's stupid. All right, last topic. Kyrie Irving.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Hey, that's
Is that gonna be like their home run thing now instead of like playing the Red Sox?
You know it's gonna be.
Da-da-da-da, woo!
I'm not gonna act like I'm gonna hate it. It's gonna be hilarious.
Woo! With the hands up, that's what they're gonna do. Have you been to those like I went to UNH and they're a big hockey school, and like when you were at the student section across the way, there was like this old school like pixelated board, and they used to during like timeouts just put these two stick figures up on the board. And then you had to like follow them as students. So whenever they like stood up, we all just went up and went woo, and like we were that like idiotic and mindless. And legitimately, that's what's gonna happen every time they score a run. Woo!
They got it, but it has to be Ric Flair. It has to be the Ric Flair. It's woo, woo. All right, Kyrie Irving not coming to Boston. We can make this topic quick. I think. Look, he's such a coward. He is such a coward.
Okay, you know what makes me believe even more? That this is, I mean, we all know it's a fake injury. He's not actually hurt. And if he is, it's very minimal.
He's been preparing this injury
since day one.
Since the moment he signed with Brooklyn, he was like, all right, Boston here, so I'm going to get this right shoulder injury over here. And I'm going to miss this road trip. Oh, Cleveland, perfect. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Oh, and the next 2 I'll play Madison Square Garden. Great. This is even better. Look, Kemba Walker just ran into Shemi Ojeleye. Looked like he was dead on the floor. Looked like he was dead on the floor.
Dude, it looked horrible. He got stretchered off.
So bad. And did you listen to the press conference, by the way, of the medical, Celtics medical guy? Basically, what he said was that was protocol. Like he was talking the whole time. He was conscious. That was like a spine protocol. They have to do that. So it wasn't as bad as it looked. But Kemba Walker is listed as probable for the Nets game. After all this, Nick, he's missing 1 basketball game.
Well, Kemba, that's one huge thing about Kemba is he doesn't miss games. Kemba's an 82-game-a-year player. Kyrie is hurt all the fucking time.
Kemba Walker wanted to play against Sacramento the other night at home. They didn't let him because they put him in the concussion protocol to be safe. They said he wasn't showing any symptoms of it, but they did it just as their protocol. And he didn't go through a full practice yet, which was like the last step of their protocol. He wanted to play in Sacramento and said he felt fine. He didn't want to miss a game.
Against Sacramento, they played at home.
Well, yeah. And now you have Kyrie Irving, who has a little bit of a pinched shoulder. Can't face the music in Boston. So I hope they still chant for him. I hope that the Garden goes nuts chanting like "F you, Kyrie" and all this stuff. I hope he hears it from wherever the hell he's going to be posted up. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to go to Brooklyn and he's going to play in that game at home.
Oh, absolutely. This is such a coward move on his part.
I hope Celtics fans travel to Brooklyn. I hope they take over that arena and boo the crap out of him in Brooklyn.
They could. It's not that far. He's so soft. He knows he has to know at this point that he's the problem with this team. He can't be the number 1 superstar on a team. He can't. I mean, look at Brooklyn. Things are going bad in Brooklyn right now. That team last year was kind of what the Celtics were a couple years ago. They were a young, scrappy group. They had D'Angelo Russell leading them. It was a fun team. They all had fun. They loved each other. They were dancing on the bench. Now that Kyrie's there, I mean, there was that clip maybe a week or 2 ago where one of his teammates is running by him and he grabs him and literally Kyrie throws him.
Pushes him across the course to the other side. It's absolutely nuts. He's so bad for the locker room. So Nets this year are 5-1 without him. 4-7 with or something like that.
5-1 without him, yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely, and it's just proof. And it's now the 3rd team he's done this, and now this time in the 2nd team where he didn't have LeBron James to cover up for half of it. And honestly, Nick, it might only get worse with Durant in the mix. Like, are you kidding me? Those two are going to isolate. Softy? Those two are going to isolate the entire team.
So Danny Ainge was talking to
Rachel Nichols.
It was Rachel Nichols. Okay, it was Rachel Nichols. Oh, I got Rachel Nichols and Erin Andrews screwed up. So Danny Ainge was talking to the Jumps, Rachel.
Wow.
Rachel Nichols.
Rachel Andrews. Hello.
He was talking to Rachel Nichols, and he tried to put some of the blame. He basically said that he doesn't think that all of the blame has to go on Kyrie's shoulders, and there's no way he believes that.
No,
there's no way he believes that. It's so obvious at this point that it was Kyrie's problem. A bunch of players on this team have already been vocal about it this year, especially Jaylen Brown, who've been like, now I feel like I can actually play and I can be me and I can have fun.
They asked him, someone asked, I think it was today, they were like, yeah, what does Kyrie bring to that team? And like, you're not going to get a chance to go up against them. And James like, well, I don't really pay too much attention. I'm going to have to watch film to see how they play and blah blah blah. He's like, it is disappointing that I would have loved to go up against them. And it's always fun when you play against former teammates. And I'm like, dude, that's not just a former teammate. That's a complete prick who screwed all of you over. And then afterwards, he was like, wait, so
I needed Marcus Smart versus Kyrie like I needed oxygen to breathe.
And then literally right after the end of it, JB was like, so he's not playing? Really? That's a thing?
It's so pathetic. He is such a coward. Well, Danny Ainge tried to put the blame on himself.
Yeah, I hope the Celtics go into Brooklyn, which is Friday, I believe. After Thanksgiving, they're playing them in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
and
very soon after.
They're back-to-back games. He will play. I'm sure of it. Kyrie Irving will play in Brooklyn. And Marcus Smart is going to body that guy so hard, and I cannot wait. All I think about is the Nike commercial that he put out, that prick put out with his father.
Oh my god!
And the part when he was like bodying up his dad, he's like body. All I hope Marcus Smart all night in his ear, body, you piece of garbage. He has no right to skip these games when he did it all to himself.
He did. He legitimately did it all to himself.
He's going to have to play here eventually because what's probably going to happen is you're going to see them in the playoffs with Kyrie. Get it over with. Take your lumps. You're going to be the most hated man in Boston forever, if not for a very long time. Get over it.
I love Paul Pierce, too.
I think he's actually surpassed A-Rod as one of the more hated men in this town.
A-Rod, people forget how hated A-Rod was, though. A-Rod was the most hated athlete in Boston. But Kyrie, no, you're right. Kyrie's close. Kyrie's
getting there.
The way Kyrie acted when he was here, he acted like he was better than. He acted like he was better than the fans. Jaylen Brown is his actual intellect. Kyrie was insufferable to talk to. He was a fake intellect. And just like, look at this team now. Look at this team without him. Gordon Hayward seems happy. Gordon Hayward's playing like an all-star. Jaylen Brown took that step he needed to. Jason Tatum took that step he needed to.
Hitting clutch shots.
Kemba Walker, positive attitude, smile on his face all the time. A competitor, wants to win, wants his teammates to be successful. That's the difference between him and Kyrie. Kyrie wanted to be the guy. He wanted to be the successful one. He didn't care about the rest of his teammates. Kemba cares about his teammates. And that's why Paul Pierce said Kyrie should be booed.
Kemba is everything that you wanted out of Kyrie. Like, Kemba is what we all wanted Kyrie to do. Like, that's what Kemba is. And you're right. Paul Pierce, bravo to you, man. He basically said, like, he did it to himself, and he deserved the biggest boost to what he did to that city. And Pierce is the first person to stand up for Boston because of what obviously Pierce means to the city. This team has a different feel around it. Like, people actually believe in this team. I think we do too. I think we can sit here and watch it and think this team has a legit chance. But, Paul Pierce is on the sideline. Tatum hits big shots. Paul Pierce is giving him high fives on courtside. Not once did you see that ever happen with Kyrie. Like, Paul Pierce is starting to fall in love with this team. People around the country are starting to understand what this team is. And I think people are really starting to understand what Kemba can do because he's out of Charlotte, not a big market team. Kemba's winning more games than he ever has in his lifetime. Like, this guy, who all he wants to do is win, is missing one game after running into Shemi and saying, yeah, I'm good, let's play against Brooklyn. They'd probably win without him, to be honest. Like, they don't need Kemba to beat Brooklyn, especially without Kyrie playing. He could easily wait. Kyrie's not even playing. He wants to play. He doesn't care. He wants to be out these guys. And I hope they beat him by 20. I hope Kyrie gets rattled from afar. And Marcus Smart will see you on Friday night.
Couch Guys Sports Podcast, episode number 135. Remember, next week, baby, we have a new sponsorship announcement to make. Hopefully, it's going to be a long term, but we have it. We have it for a little bit right now. A new sponsorship coming next week. Guys, don't forget you can listen to the entire podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. And you can also catch the podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube page. You can catch the entire video version of the podcast on YouTube as well. And then, baby, rate and subscribe on iTunes. You guys don't know, it helps us so friggin' much. Rate and subscribe on iTunes. Nick Quaglia, Jared Scali, producer Patty P. Guys, we will be back next week for episode number 136. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening.